in reference to Allen Benedict Court,
Yes.
and there was like hundreds of people that had to be evacuated due to the gas leak, and unfortunately, there was a couple people that lost their lives in the process of this happening. So a week later, there's a lot of people that are still displaced. There are people that were put in unfavorable conditions, and so the point of the discussion for today is that everybody knows exactly what the problem is. Everybody knows what the issue is. But what are some solutions that we can offer some of the residents that have been displaced at Allen Benedict Court? There's been a lot of nonprofit organizations that have decided to step up to the plate and make sure that they have some of their immediate needs as far as just everyday items that we take for granted sometimes, whether it be toiletry items, personal items, so on and so forth. But I definitely would love to hear from the community itself and offering some possible long-term solutions for some of the people that have been displaced in Allen Benedict Court. So if you could give us a call right now, 803-647-1039. The number again is 647-1039. Outside the metro is 877-874-1039. And even, I understand some people are at work and they can't comment necessarily. Actually call in live. So please make sure that you go on social media, whether it is a Hot social media page, which is Hot 1039 SC, or you can go on my page, which is Get to Know Neek, and definitely put your comments down there for us and let us know your thoughts. What are some long-term goals that you think you can offer some of the displaced families from Allen Benedict Court? And, we can come together as a community and make sure they have the things that they need. All right, so Mahogany Steele, is there anything you wanted to say?
There been an update according to WIS 2 days ago. They had some of the tenants, they were forced to leave their hotel early because you had other guests and stuff that were complaining. So you have a situation where even though they've been placed in hotels, they actually aren't able to stay in the hotels for long periods of time. So we can add that as far as one of the solutions to help basically get everybody back on their feet.
Right. So yeah, like I said before, there's some temporary solutions that are going on right now, but I want to discuss long-term solutions. So if you have some thoughts, share it with us. You never know who may be listening, and ultimately at the end of the day, as a community, we can try to come together and offer some solutions and some help for people that are in need. So this is the great debate today here on Hot 1039 93.9. Hit us up and let us know, 803-647-1039. Outside the metro is 877-874-1039. And check us out live as well. And you can put your comments on there too. It's Hot 1039 93.9. What's up, everybody checking in?
What
Y'all
up?
checking out Mahogany Steele right now.
What up?
Hey. Yep. All right, so, everybody wanted to, talk about it. Some people were hitting us up, asking us to address it. So let's see what people have to say, y'all. Excuse me for getting some of this stuff together.
Well, there's a couple things that I'll say, just to kind of give people additional updates and stuff.
Hello, Hot 1039 93.9. Can you hold the line for me, please?
All right.
Hello, Hot 1039 93.9. Can you hold the line for me, please?
Yes.
Thank you. What were you saying, Mahogany, sir?
Just doing a little bit of research and came across a couple of articles from WIS and LTX, and they were basically just stating that, sorry, got like 3 cameras going.
I know. We got a lot going on.
We got a lot going on.
Okay.
Basically, they did their research and found out that there was over thousands of work orders revealing complaints about gas leaks just basically throughout the entire apartment complex, throughout all the buildings. So some people might think like, oh, well, this might have been a situation that just happened. But these gas leaks have been, according to documents, they've been going on for quite a while. And residents have been doing their part as best as they can to, complain about it. Like, not only they were having gas leaks, but they were complaining about mold and broken appliances and sewage smells, and it just, yeah. Okay. So it's not a situation that just came up and everybody just kind of sat back and, why didn't they do anything about it? No, They were trying. They really were. Very much so.
Okay. So if you are, I'm sorry, y'all, because I'm trying to do two phones at the same time. So if you are just logging into us live, our topic for today is this is locally, so anybody that's from out of town will kind of get you up to breast really quick if I can. There's a housing complex that unfortunately 2 people lost their lives due to a gas leak, and they've been having some problems and some issues, and a lot of people have been displaced. So we want to get people to kind of chime in and talk about long-term solutions for some of the residents that have been displaced. Like, they're in hotels, but we know they're not going to be able to stay in hotels for a month, a couple of months or a year. So let's just see what people have to say. Hello, Hot 1039 93.9, The Great Debate. Tell us or offer your long-term solutions for people that have been displaced from Allen Benedict Court.
Okay, a question is, why, if all these people was complaining, right, why nobody fixed the issue?
Why wasn't the issue fixed? Correct.
Right, and
Good question.
If you're getting people writing all these complaints, they don't have enough employees in that nature to fix the gas leak or whatever, or they thought they were playing or what?
Well, according to what some of these news articles were saying, that they actually, the day that a person would go and file a complaint and do the paperwork and stuff, that they would send out a maintenance crew, and then the maintenance crew would report back that there wasn't any gas leaks or anything. So, and also SCE&G actually released a statement saying that they're not in charge of their utilities and things like that. They just kind of they're like overseers, but they're not in charge. So that's a Columbia Housing Authority issue. Like, they have to be responsible. All SCE&G does is they just provide a pipeline and allow them to use the gas, but they're not in charge of the maintenance and upkeep of it.
Okay, that was basically why I was calling, because it didn't make no sense. I mean, we had an issue from Orangeburg. We had an issue like that years ago at South Carolina State University. Mm-hmm. The same thing, and gas leak, and we had students that passed away about it.
That happened on South Campus.
Wow.
I remember
South
that.
Campus, correct.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in with your input on everything, okay?
All right, no problem. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yep, it is The Great Debate right here on Hot 1039 93.9. So we definitely want people to give us a call if you can and chime in on your thoughts. Like I said, everybody knows kind of what the problem is. Can we offer some of these residents some long-term solutions? 647 1039 80. Man, this is hard with 2 phones.
Well, I definitely want to address that. I'll make sure I mention that on the air as well about about SCE&G and their role in it, because a lot of people might not understand. Okay, if it was a gas leak and it's been reported, why wasn't it fixed?
Yeah,
so
that is true. And even the news outlets are still trying to obtain the documents, that Mahogany Steel was talking about. So it's you can talk about the reports and this, that, and the third, but, as journalists do, good journalism, you got to have the facts. You got to have the facts.
this is true.
To speak on it intelligently.
Yeah, that's all. We just want to make sure that we provide all the information so everyone can have a better understanding of what is going on, what the residents are going through, and what was actually being done and what is currently being done. Because you actually have some Columbia lawmakers that are, they're actually asking the Columbia Housing Authority, the director, to resign. And that actually just came out today.
So that's going to be interesting. This is a developing story right here. So, we're still going to be talking about this, I think, for months on end, not unless there's some quick solutions that come up. Miss Scorpio 1110. Hey, girl. She said they basically found a way to shut the apartments. I don't think SCE&G trying to find a solution or housing authority. Now, that brings me to another topic of discussion, and that goes into gentrification. For people that are not familiar, I'm just going to give you a quick definition of gentrification. And it's just a situation where you go into poor, undeveloped areas, and you spruce it up basically and make it nice. And so if anybody's really been paying attention to what's been going on and what's been happening in Columbia, gosh, how long has it been Mahogany Steel? Maybe like the last 7 years, maybe?
It's been about between 5 to 7 years.
Something like that.
It's like they allow the property value to go down on a certain area. And then, once the residents move out and things like that, then, of course, they buy the property for cheap. Yeah. And then when they buy it for cheap, then they go ahead and they, like Nick said, they spruce it up, build new, apartment complexes, different, different businesses and things of that nature. They redo the streets, they redo the pipes under the streets, everything, street lights, everything. And then they go ahead and they sell it at a profit.
Absolutely. And if you've been paying attention and you live in Columbia, I knew gentrification was about to happen as soon as they put those nice street lights on North Main. All the way up North Main, past Columbia College. Mm-hmm. I'm like, it's about to go down in Columbia. Mm-hmm. Just pay attention within the next 10 to 15 years. This whole complete area over here is going to be revitalized. And you see that, with off of North Main, they got a new pizza gourmet shop going on. They got a new coffee shop over there. There's a church over there. They're about to build an IGA on North Main. So just pay attention to what's going on in the larger scope of things. But let's get back to the subject at hand. And again, we're asking people for solutions. We know about the problem that happened over at Allen Benedict Court, but I would like to hear, and everybody can talk about the problem, but what type of solutions do you have for the people that have been displaced? You said, let me see, Miss Scorpio 1110 said there are new apartments on North Main. Yes, and there's actually some apartments that are being revitalized. There's a program, and I really don't want to take and speak on it until I get the proper name, that Senator Tim Scott actually has enacted about going into low economic areas and developing them. But I'll get more about that, and I'd rather have either him or someone from his office come and speak about it and the programs that they have going on. So, But again, like everybody is chiming in. Appreciate you guys checking us out on live, but we need some solutions to these people that have been displaced. So hit us up and let us know what your thoughts are on Hot 103.9, 93.9. And that's Mahogany Steel over there.
Yes.
We got cameras on cameras.
Yes. I mean, you have a couple of businesses locally have been offering temporary solutions for some of the displaced residents, like U-Haul. Like, you actually have quite a few locations of U-Haul that are offering free storage facilities for them, and that's the U-Haul on Arcadia Lakes, Broad River, Elmwood, Fort Jackson, and Spring Valley. Mm-hmm. So all of those U-Hauls are basically allowing 30 days of free disaster relief. Mm-hmm. And as part of their disaster relief assistance program.
Okay. And that's a good thing, and shout out to U-Haul, and the local branches that are here in Columbia, South Carolina, to assist with the residents, because the thing about it is that's the next thing. Like, they've been evacuated from their apartments, and when they were evacuated from their apartments, they couldn't actually take anything with them. So, like I said, there's been some nonprofit organizations that have stepped up to the plate to ask people to donate, personal items that they may need, which is, toiletry items, just everyday things that we use and sometimes we take for granted. They are definitely in need of that. So we're looking for solutions from the community. We want to hear from the community. What are some of the long-term solutions for the people that have been displaced from Allen Benedict Court? So we want to definitely know your thoughts about that. So hit us up and let us know at 803-647-1039. That's 647-1039. Outside the metro, it's a toll-free call for you at 877-874-1039. So hit us up and let us know what your thoughts are. All right. So I hope everybody's having a good day. Mm-hmm. I hope so.
Well, also, our mayor, Steve Benjamin, he sent out a tweet, and he had added Ben Carson, who we all know is the head of the Housing Authority in the United States. Mm-hmm. So he is actually looking forward to having a sit-down meeting with him. Mm-hmm. Hopefully sooner than later.
Okay. But is it up to Ben Carson to be the remedy to the problem or the issue that's going on here in Columbia?
No, I don't think so. I think it's a start because they could be able to hopefully receive some sort of like temporary aid to kind of help all of those displaced residents. I mean, I know it wouldn't be like a permanent solution, but definitely be able to get like, well, I really can't speak on the amount that they would be able to assist with as far as aid, but yeah, I mean, they would be able to at least do something to just kind of help expedite, because once, this 30 days are up, I mean, people are really going to have to figure out what's going to be their next move, what they're going to be able to do, because these hotels, they can only do but so much for so long.
Exactly.
Same thing with U-Haul and just anybody else who's actually doing any type of donation and stuff, because we don't want this to be a situation where 3 months from now, everybody has moved on, no one is talking about it, and these people are still displaced. So that's what we really mean about solutions. We're looking for like long-term solutions as well, because 3 months from now, 6 months from now, who's to say what's going to happen?
Right. Absolutely. All right, let's see. We got some comments coming in on social media. Hello, everybody, for checking us out on live. Thank you so much. And let's see. We have 803 Chinaman 82 said, run around the clock maintenance crew to the leak. Oh, fix the leak. So basically, he's just saying, like, go ahead, fix the leak, and allow the people to move back in.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I guess it would honestly depend on the severity of the leak. And according to what everyone has been reporting, is the leak is throughout the entire, like, all of the building. It's not just in a segregated building.
Right. So that's going to take time to repair.
I mean, but it's a start.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure that they do definitely have some crews that are, working on it. But, the problem is a lot bigger than we know it to be, or what's being reported, or what's being told to the public.
And then plus it's a situation, too, where we also have to understand that where you may have an SCE&G who has the manpower to come in and be able to repair this, they're not technically responsible for it. So, the Columbia Housing Authority would have to actually outsource or pay SCE&G to come out and do what needs to be done. And who's to say if they have the budget for it?
Okay, so Mahogany Steel,
Yes.
I'm going to take the opposite of that.
Okay.
As far as that's concerned. So SCE&G found a minor technicality to get out of the situation of fixing it, but they provide the gas service.
Yeah, it's actually, it's a gas line that runs from the master meter into the homes under its jurisdiction.
SCE&G, if y'all don't get out there and fix that gas leak, I'm just gonna say just like that. Get out there and fix that gas leak. No, I'm not making light of the situation. I'm not laughing about it, but it's just a situation where, sometimes when problems come up, everybody is pointing a finger at somebody else. And when do the solutions come about? When do the solutions come about? Like I said, I didn't want this great debate today to be about us talking about the problem, talking about the problem. We know what the problem is. What are the solutions? And like I said, right now there's temporary solutions that are going on, and thank God it is. And there are people that come together as a community to help people that are in need. But I'm talking about long-term solutions. Just like Mahogany Steel just mentioned, a lot of these people are in hotels, but they're only going to be in hotels for 30 days, you guys. That's 1 month. 1 month. Then where do they go? What do they do after that? So what are the long-term solutions in trying to give these people an alternative outside of staying at a hotel? Or I'm sorry.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
We don't exactly know the time frame for the hotel situation. See, U-Haul is providing the 30 days for storage. So we just wanted to make sure we cleared that up.
Yeah, no, thank you.
But we don't know what the actual hotel, we don't know what the hotel situation is.
Well, let's put it this way. There's only going to be certain hotels that are going to be able to put up some of the displaced residents for a short period of time. It's not necessarily going to be long-term where they can stay in the hotel, for months in at a time, not unless there's somebody that can afford to do something like that. And we all know that that's very expensive and that's very costly. And that a lot of people that were living in Allen Benedict Court were on assistance and because it was low income housing. So what are the long-term solutions for people that have to live in low-income housing? I definitely would love to hear from the community and let us know what your thoughts are. You might have been thinking about it. Maybe you came up with an idea that could be very useful to someone. So please share with us. You know, you put your comments on our social media page. You can comment right now on live. This is just an open forum about it. There were some people that decided that they wanted to address us here at the radio station about us not necessarily talking about the situation, but you know, you have to keep in mind that our radio station is music based, and we can talk about certain issues that are going on in the community, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. But that's not the reason why people tune in to Hot 103.9, 93.9 for us to talk about politics. You know, you call it politics, I call it politics sometimes. We can mention it, we can, you know, make people aware of what's going on, but we don't necessarily go into in-depth about it. We're not investigative reporters as you would have on our television stations. You know, they have the staff that's set up for that. But we don't mind addressing certain things that are in the community and just making people aware of it. And then we can lend a helping hand where we can. But that's not necessarily what we do here at a music radio station.
Yeah, because you have several different like radio station outlets, like NPR, for example, where I also work. And that's what we do all day, every day. You know, we're reporting on local news, state news, and national news. And that's exactly what we do. We have our reporters, we have our sources, we have everything that we do, and this is what we do all day. Right. So it's, again, like Neek just said, it's not a situation where we can't talk about it, but it's just only certain things that we really can address this within the realm of what we do and the scope of what we do as a radio station.
Absolutely, absolutely. But, you know, we do serve the community, and so that is one of the reasons why we are here talking about it. And I just decided to, myself and Mahogany Steel, for a great debate. You know, usually we talk about relationship stuff during
We're going to talk about relationships next week, though.
Yeah, we'll be back to the regular
schedule
program.
Because it's getting close to Valentine's Day.
Yes, Valentine's Day.
So I have had several questions posed to me to pose to the public about
fun.
Valentine's Day.
Let's do a great debate about that. So, yeah. All right, let's get ready to get into it, y'all. Oh, let me play back this call. Forgot to play back.
Hello, Hot 103.9, 93.9, the great debate. Tell us or offer your long-term solutions for people that have been displaced from Allen Benedict Court.
Okay, my question is, why, if all these people was complaining, right, why nobody fix the issue?
Why wasn't the issue fixed? Correct.
Right.
Good question.
If you're getting people writing all these complaints, they don't have enough employees in that nature to fix the gas leak or whatever, or they thought they were playing or what?
Well, according to what some of these news articles were saying, that they actually, the day that a person would go and file a complaint and do the paperwork and stuff, that they would send out a maintenance crew, and then the maintenance crew would report back that there wasn't any gas leaks or anything. So, and also SCE&G actually released a statement saying that they're not in charge of their utilities and things like that. They just kind of like, they're like overseers, but they're not in charge. So that's a Columbia Housing Authority issue. Like, they have to be responsible. All SCE&G does is they just provide a pipeline and allow them to use the gas, but they're not in charge of like the maintenance and upkeep of it.
Okay, that was basically what I was calling, because it didn't make no sense. I mean, we had an issue from Orangeburg. We had an issue like that years ago at South Carolina State University. Mm-hmm. The same thing. And gas leak, and we had students that passed away about it. And that's
that happened on South Campus. Mm-hmm. Wow. I remember that.
Okay, that's correct.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in with your input on everything, okay?
All right, no problem. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Let's see, I got a comment here on Hot's live feed, so let me take a look. I'm sorry, y'all. We got what's it, iPhone 5? Oh, I'm sorry. Can't hear. I'm sorry. Okay. So forgive me if I pull the phone up like this so I can read what you type in like.
It's the SE. Stop hating on that phone.
It's the SC.
SE.
SE. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
Stop hating on that little phone.
Man, please.
Little fun phone.
Look at this little phone,
Little
y'all.
fun
This is a
size
station
phone.
But
That's
anyway.
a little fun phone.
You
Little
ain't
fun
lying.
size. Little
Okay,
fun
so
size. Little
it's
dip.
Dev MRF. I saw a post about an article a few days ago in another state that provides the homeless shelter at the local churches. Maybe Columbia can do the same thing.
Okay, like use the shelters that they use and provide for homeless to actually use for
Right.
the residents as well.
Mm-hmm.
Got them.
Right. Yeah.
Okay,
And
I got what you're
that,
saying.
that could be a solution, but for people that have had, a personal space that they called home.
Mm-hmm.
That's not necessarily what they want to do. I know that they may not have a choice. They may not have family to be able to take them in so they can get back on their feet and figure out, they can go and live somewhere else with subsidized income. But I definitely appreciate your comment on that, and that is one possible solution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's just like, it almost puts me in the mind of like the floods.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of people that, was displaced. And unfortunately, even though it hasn't really been brought up publicly, there's still people that are in need even from the floods.
And that was from 2015.
Exactly. So
we're talking almost 4 years later.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So still taking your comments. I'm going to log off live for a second because I want to see what people are actually posting on our pages so I can make sure I get those comments on the air, because I know there's a lot of people at work that can't verbally say what they want to say. They can't call in, but they definitely can type in text. So, we thank you for checking in with us live here, and the open discussion continues on even on social media. For people that may be checking us out that don't live in Columbia, South Carolina, the topic of discussion for our great debate today is that there's recently a low-income housing facility that had to shut down because they had a gas leak and 2 people actually died from the gas leak. So there's hundreds of residents that have been displaced, and basically they're trying to figure out what to do for these residents. And so we want to offer some long-term solutions for some of the residents that have been displaced. And some people don't feel like the city of Columbia is moving fast enough to go ahead and help these people, but sometimes when you have an emergency and it just of course we just hear about it all of a sudden, but people said that they've been complaining about this for years, and they just been kind of putting a Band-Aid on it but not really fixing the solution. And we don't know why this it hasn't been fixed the way that it needed to be fixed, but sometimes people wait till they can't wait anymore, and now the problem has become a disaster.
And then plus we also have to factor in that it's 411 people. That's a lot of people to try to find emergency temporary housing for. And then you're talking within the 411 people, that's kids, babies, it's just, right. And it's just unfortunately, we're not sure what plans were actually in place or in place at any apartment complex around the city if there's any type of disaster that happens. Like, what is the plan for if something happens and you have to evacuate immediately? Right. So really, the takeaway from this for most people, or everybody I should say, that lives in apartment complexes and stuff like that, is that you really should have a conversation with your apartment managers and stuff and say, like, okay, so if something were to happen in this complex, what is the emergency procedure in place for us? Like, what's the plan?
Right. And that's actually a good discussion to have, Mahogany Steel. And people need to, also maybe read up on their insurance policies. Mm-hmm. You have renter's insurance, but, do you have renter's insurance to cover certain things that are needed? So this is, unfortunate. It's very unfortunate what happened, but it also opens up the discussion on how you need to prepare for yourself and your family so you won't necessarily have to go through this. Let me see. Miss Scorpio 1110 said, start a petition, go on strike for ABC court families. Well, actually, a petition has been going around already, Miss Scorpio 1110. 5 and 10. And even with this petition, they are asking for donations, and these donations are supposed to go directly to the family. So the thing about it is you can sign the petition, and I'll get the information because somebody actually sent it to me, and you can sign it and you can share it. Or either what you can do as far as the petition is concerned is you can sign it and you can make a donation as small as $1, or you can donate even more. And again, this money is going to go directly to the families that are in need and that have been displaced in their homes. So there is a petition that's floating around. I think it's more on Facebook than any other social media outlet. So you can probably do actually a little bit of searching yourself and see that petition, and you can sign it. And like I said, you can sign it and share it, or either you can sign and make a donation as little as $1 or as much as you want. So that's what's up with that. So yeah, Mahogany still over there. We got cameras on top of cameras.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm actually getting ready to go ahead and end this live feed, everybody. So again, thank you for checking us out here at Hot 1039. I got to get to the comments that's posted on the page as well. So thank you again. I'm going to go ahead and end this real quick.
Later.
And I'll just share that. Okay.
So at the end of the day, you know, it's just a situation where unfortunately when a disaster like this happens, you know, no one thinks of the unthinkable or the, you know.
Right. All right. It's Hot 1039, 93.9, Columbia's #1 for hip hop and R&B. Great debate today. Talking about a situation that's happening right here in our community about Allen Benedict Court and a lot of people that are being displaced due to the gas leak that's happening. And just wanted to hear from the community, and if anybody had some long-term solutions on what's going on. When we were on our live feed, there was, somebody that said start a petition. There's actually already a petition that's floating around, and you can sign the petition and share the petition. You can sign the petition and make a donation, and those donations are supposed to go to the families that have been displaced. Somebody just said straight up, they just need to fix the problem. They need to fix the gas leak, and people can go ahead and move back into their homes. I'm sure that is going to be a daunting task for the city of Columbia, but it definitely will eventually get fixed. We just don't know when. But in the interim of all of that, these people still need some place to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And Mahogany Steel, you brought up a very good point off the air, and I want you to mention that again, that even though that this didn't happen to you and it didn't happen to your family, whether you are staying in an apartment, condo, townhouse, or a house, an emergency can happen at the blink of an eye.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing to make sure that your family is prepared?
Well, I definitely mentioned that anybody that's living in any type of apartment complex or anything like a property manager, that you should bring up a conversation with them and say, okay, if something was to happen in this complex, like what are the procedures for us as residents? What are we supposed to do if something like this in a disaster happens? Like, what do you have in place for us, especially for people who don't have renter's insurance?
Exactly.
So you should definitely know if you don't have renter's insurance, you should get renter's insurance.
And go over your policy. Whatever company that you decide to go with, you need to go over your policy with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that you have enough coverage for emergencies such as this that will cover you 3 months, 6 months, even a year, depending on how much you can afford. But please let this... what's happening is unfortunate, and our heart goes out to them. And, there's definitely a lot of assistance, a lot of nonprofit organizations that are stepping up to the plate and helping them right now, the immediate need, because it is an immediate, but there's also long-term needs for this. And we just wanted to have this conversation to also put it on your mind, as Mahogany Steel just stated. Think about if you were in this situation, what would you do? So think about it and plan and prepare, because you just never know. Seriously. All right. So anything else that you want to say, Mahogany Steel?
Nope. That was it for today.
Okay. All
Just
right.
everybody just take heed what we were saying,
Absolutely. And, we still continue on with the great debate and the conversation on social media. So please, by all means, make sure that you log on and give your thoughts, your opinions, and, your advice for some long-term solutions for some of the people that have been displaced in Allen Benedict Court, because this is it's going to be going on for a while. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So,
And we don't want it to be a situation where 3 months from now, 6 months from now, where everybody has basically moved on from it because it didn't directly affect them. That we want the people that it has affected, let them know that, you know, there's people that still out here, we care, and that we're doing everything that we can to, you know, to try to help you guys out.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for always tuning in and checking us out here on The Great Debate. Myself, Mahogany Steele, and we're actually going to be putting this conversation up on YouTube, so you can check out the live video, and there's some things that we talked about off the air that you won't be able to hear on the air because we talked about it off the air. So look out for that. And Beezy Baby's going to be coming up next. But before she comes in the studio, I need to give you the key word for the 1 o'clock hour. Key word for the 1 o'clock hour today is bread. B-R-E-A-D. There's several meanings for bread. The bread that you can eat, or the bread that, like, we giving away $1,000 and you want that bread, you need to enter into this keyword.
Nice segue. Nice segue.
So make sure you log on to our website. Mahogany Stick, so funny. Log on to, yes, you're hilarious. You're
Just wait till we talk about these relationships next week.
Oh man, Valentine's Day, y'all get ready for the great debate, and we're gonna
have a 3-week leading up to Valentine's Day questions.
Yes,
so be ready for them.
So bread, B-R-E-A-D. Make sure you enter that keyword into our website, hot1039fm.com. Right there on the homepage, you can go ahead and click it and do that, or either go to the app and put in the keyword, and $1,000, $1,000 in your hand. Where the bag at? We got it right here. Hot 1039, 93.9, your free money station. So don't go anywhere. I am Neat during the day.
Mahogany Steel.
All right, so keep it locked and loaded. Don't go anywhere, y'all.